Sometimes we are going strong in things that has no benefit to us at the moment. We're going to talk about when you purpose to do after the intro. Let's get it.
You have one life. You got a calling and a purpose. Welcome to the Witness to Power podcast, the show that encourages and inspires you to be who God has called you to be. I'm your host and digital evangelist, Ashley Sims.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back again. I'm truly excited. Before we get started, I just want to remind you, I finished this book, this journey, Purposely Married, 12 Principles for a Happy Marriage. And I just wanted to just thank God for it. And I just want to just let you know that it's available to be purchased at Amazon. You can go to purposelymarried.com. And marriage itself is the beginning of a journey. Most of us have a destination in mind when we go on a travel, vacation, or a trip, and we go and we plan for this. But we don't sometimes have the same expectations when it comes to our relationships. And so just like when things arise on our trip, it's going to arise on our journey on marriage. And we have to make some adjustments when challenges happen or arise. Just like we continue on our trip to a vacation spot, we don't stray off course. And the same thing when it comes to marriage. Things are going to happen. We're human. Two humans coming together as one. But it shouldn't stray us off course. So in this book, I give you practical advice on how to stay on course when things don't go as planned in life, and to level up and to keep going. And I hope you enjoy this book. I really do. It's a personal journey of mine that my wife encouraged me to write and to put out. And so there it is. That's my little commercial spot. Go to purposelymarried.com. All right. Now, when you purpose to do something in life, sometimes we can be going in the wrong direction. Now, what I mean by this, we can be focused on doing something that in the end result of doing that thing, it's not going to do us any good, no benefit at all as far as what God has purposed for us. In the flesh, it may give you some kudos or things that's going to last on the earth. But when we die, it's not going to affect anyone at all for the good. It's going to be here 1 minute and then gone. So sometimes, again, we could be going strong for something, but you may be misinformed or misguided about this thing. So we're taught many things in life, from our traditions in the church, our traditions in our family. Shoot, it could be even hatred, bigotry, some deceitful skills, or it could be taught some about religions are all the same. There's some things that we've been put inside our mind, and we have this mindset in life. But when we're exposed to God and the things of God, things change, hopefully for the good. See, our environment plays a lot in how we move in life. And I believe that to the highest. And I go look at my life, especially when I revisit some things when it came to my marriage, me and my wife, and how we met and the things that we've been through these 29 years. And so something can change that. But what changes you, I believe, it's your experiences and your exposure to things greater than you can perceive or achieve. Because if we're not exposed to something different than our normal routine in life, we're going to continue to do that same thing over and over again, no matter it's right, no matter it's wrong, and no matter it's unprofitable to us. It could be just being comfortable in the things that we've been taught and doing. Like, we're good, my family's been doing this for years. Or we don't believe in that because that's what I've been taught for years. But the greater that comes into your life is God, the living God. Not a God, not one of many, the God who created the heavens and the earth. And that's what we have to just stand on. Because I've talked to people and they say, well, I believe all religions are the same. They are not. All gods aren't the same. There's one God who created the heavens and the earth. And he tells us that you should have no other God before him. And if you can't hold or accept that, then you are thinking with feelings. You're thinking what traditions of mankind have taught you. There can be no one God because it's what we feel. What we feel is irrelevant according to God. He is the creator of heavens and the earth. He's the creator of all life and the giver of all life. And we respect him. And some people say, how do we know it's a man or a woman? Because the Bible tells us he is the Father. Plain and simple. Stop listening to what life has taught you when it comes to the spirit. God is God. And besides him, there is no other. That's what is called faith that we have to accept. Well, how come Jesus Christ is the one? Because Jesus Christ is God. And God sent his only begotten son because he told us. And by faith, we have to accept that. By our feelings, it won't align because what we've been taught that things should happen a certain way and we should know and see everything. But it's called faith. We have to believe in the creator of the heavens and the earth. I was told by a friend of mine about an individual. It was actually two individuals, but he knew one well. And this one individual, I'm going to call him the first individual, he had a friend. The second individual, who he said that guy was not living a good life. And he rejected everything and people could not be around him. I don't know if you met people like that. They repulse everybody they come around. They just don't like themselves, don't like you. They just do things very badly, awfully. They just repulse again. So it came a time when the first individual was called to the deathbed of the second individual. And he told my friend, the first individual told my friend that he saw something that he didn't ever want to experience or see again. Well, the second individual was near death. And the first individual told my friend that the guy rose up with a terrified look on his face. He said this dude was terrified. And he said a profane sentence. And we all know it's WT and the F. And he said the guy turned black and died. And he told my friend that it was a terrifying look that he didn't ever want to experience. And that individual was one of the individuals that didn't actually believe in God, the first individual. And now it's changing because of what he saw at the second individual's death. And I talked to another individual. This is a young lady that I talked to. And she said, because she came up in a certain religion, a group of individuals, sometimes I'll say it like this. This group that she served under, they promote one book above the Bible. And I'll just say it like that. And she came out of that. And she just had so many questions about how they put down a certain sect of people. And they supposed to be children of God. And she had this thing now that what's wrong with other religions? And I told her there has to be one God. That's what it's called faith. But this God has a certain way that we should go about things. And I told her, how can the God who created everybody be hateful to his own creation? That one color is better than another. I said, don't make a tap of sense. But I told her that religion was founded based on that. They made a shift later on, but they still hold to some of them teaching. I said, when you serve God, he is about love. He's not about separating his people like that. What man do on the way you look, the color of your skin, and all that kind of stuff. Now, he does have a standard in the Bible. There's certain things that he said should be in the beginning. He created the heavens and the earth. So he created all things, man and womankind. He has an order. He has a thing the way it should go. But mankind says, hey, we're going to do it this way. But mankind is influenced by the enemy and the flesh. Well, we have to serve a God that's absolutely right. He is absolute. But he gave us Jesus Christ so that we can because he knew we're but dust. He knew that we needed a savior, and that's Jesus Christ. And then another person I talked to, they talking about hell, and I don't believe in things like that, heaven and hell. Well, I always told this individual that hell was created for Satan and the fallen angels. But God gives us a will, a choice. We choose to go to hell, or we choose to serve Jesus. He didn't give us a middle ground. And so when we say that all religions lead to the same God, that's what we're doing. We're giving ourselves a middle ground, which is not accurate. And I would say to the people, you got to look at this. We had an individual that lived his life however he wanted. And another individual that said, you know what, he didn't believe in God. But then he saw this individual give his last breath. And he realized something is on the other side of life. So when we're purposed to do something, and we've been taught certain things, when we're exposed to the greater, and that's God, his spirit, his love, that helps us to shift and take the scales off our eyes so that we can see for a moment. And then within, we decide if we're going to say, yo, you know what? This is the living God. This is the creator of heaven and earth. I'm going to follow. Or you fall back and say, oh, this is just an experience. Scientists and people say, you know, it's something you ate. It's just a dream. It was conjured up by man. They're doctored, whatever. Well, I'll tell you this. I used to study a long time ago, NDE, near-death experiences, and read about people who died. And their experiences, some are similar, some are terrifying. Let some scientists get you off track. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You can't change when you die. That one individual, the second individual when he died, he was exactly how he was on earth when he died. He said a profane thing before he died because his heart had not been changed. If you believe that you're going to be able to change how you are the moment you die, you're taking a chance. You see, what about the man on the cross? Jesus was there. So do you want to take that chance and say, you know what? When I die, I'll serve the Lord. I'll give my life quickly to Jesus so that I could be like the man on the cross. Do you remember the second guy on the cross? He ridiculed Jesus, and he was about to die too. So I would tell you, sometimes in life, we're purposed to do something, but sometimes it's not beneficial to us. We all have a reason from being on this planet. We have to achieve what God has put in us to do. And sometimes we know what to do. Sometimes we are knocked off course by life events. And that's good. These events cause us to hold up, slow us down and say, wait a minute. We must take and put our attention to the things that we're doing. It let us know that we're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. We could put so much energy in doing the wrong thing in our life. And I'm reminded of Paul. Well, he was Saul before he was Paul. I'm going to go to Acts 8:1. It says, Saul was consenting unto his death. And at the time, there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem. And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. Think about it. At this time, Saul was persecuting the church. He thought he was doing the will of God. So he was going hard in purpose to do something he believed he was doing for the living God because of what he was taught. I like what it says in this verse. He says everybody was scattered except the apostles. They stood strong. And then I'll go down to verse 3. It says, as for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house and hailing men and women, committed them under prison. He wreaked havoc. He was going strong for the wrong thing. His purpose was to destroy everything he believed that was going against God. But little did he know at the time, this was of the living God. And so I'm going to go down to chapter 9. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they be men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? He said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told of thee what thou must doest. So Paul was going hard in his purpose, but it was the wrong thing he was purposely doing. So Jesus saw him and stopped him and knocked him off his course. And so I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And Saul, after this event, he was blind and did not eat for 3 days. And then we're going to move on to verse 10. He said, There was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go to the street, which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas, for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and he hath seen a vision, a man named Ananias coming in and putting in his hand on him that he might receive sight. And then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard of many of this man, how much evil he hath done to thy saints in Jerusalem. But the Lord said, and this is what we have to grasp. When God has purpose for you, he's going to make a way for you can come to him and fulfill that what he put in your heart. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is chosen. Let me say this right. For he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and the kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. And after Ananias laid hands on him, the scales fell off his eyes, and he could see, and he received sight, and he arose, and he was baptized. And then I'm going to go to verse 19. He said, when he had received meat, he was strengthened. Then Saul was certain days with the disciples, which were in Damascus. And straightway he preached Christ in the synagogue, that he is the Son of God. See, Saul, because of Jesus, him coming into contact with Jesus, it changed his perception to see that the living God, the God that thought he was serving, he was on the wrong path by traditions. And God will do the same for you. If you're going hard for the wrong thing, he will send Jesus to you through somebody, through a vision, through a dream, because he wants you serving him and carrying his name, Jesus, so that men and women and boys and girls can receive him and be saved. In conclusion, Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. When you are called by God to do something, there's a present feeling that you get, and you know if you don't do it or take the opportunity to do it, it's going to weigh on you. So our gifts needs to be released in the earth, because it's going to help others and bring others to Christ. And that's what we do. Because if you keep your gift locked up or being used in the wrong way, it won't benefit the kingdom of God. So your gift, your purpose, your calling, imagine you walking that course and many people being saved because you released that gift in the earth. And that can go into heaven. Not all these temporal things we get like houses, lands, and cars. And you know that Paul wrote most of the New Testament. So he went from purposely doing something to purposely doing the will of God. And so shall you. I thank God for each and every one of you. When you purpose to do, just know that God has a plan and a vision for your life because it's going to bring others to Christ. We'll talk again. Reach one, reach many. Be blessed. Till the next time, have an awesome week. Thanks again for listening to this episode of Witness to Power Podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you. Share this episode with a friend, your neighbor, your coworker, your business partner, across the internet. Let's get this word out because we need to be encouraged. We know that God is coming back. Jesus is coming back to receive his church in this day and this hour. If you look around, the events of the world has come. And I believe we are in the last of the last days. And Jesus is soon to return. And we'll talk again. Don't forget to leave the comments below wherever you download this podcast. We'll talk again. Peace.
Have you ever felt that you've not lived up to your full potential? Or maybe you felt that you have no idea what you truly want out of life, but you feel you can do more than what you're doing now? Then I have the book for you, 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose, to help you shake off the stagnation and fogginess into doing your purpose. Go to walkinpurposenow.com. Yes, that's walkinpurposenow.com and grab your copy today and walk in the purpose that you know is designed for you. Remember, I believe in you. So go and grab your copy of 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose and live the purpose that I know you have within you to live.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Witness to Power Podcast. Don't forget to check us out at www.witnesstopowerpodcast.com and also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And be sure to check out the Witness to Power fan page on Facebook. Have a great week.